Imagine this. You walk into a room, maybe it's a staff meeting, a busy cafe, or just a family get-together.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking, maybe even talking over each other, or
Yeah.
just a lot of noise, different conversations happening.
Total cacophony, some sort.
Exactly. Then someone new walks in, or maybe someone who's already there starts to speak, and, well, something almost like magical happens.
Mm.
The room just falls silent, every head turns, everyone leans in, totally focused. What is it about that person? What makes them command that kind of attention and, that deep respect?
It's that immediate presence, isn't it? That sort of unforced authority. It goes way beyond just being charismatic.
Right.
And that shift, that palpable change in the room's energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly the kind of thing we're diving into today.
Absolutely. So today we're doing a deep dive into this really fascinating ancient text. It explores this exact question through this amazing encounter. It's between a really respected spiritual teacher and a group of wandering ascetics.
Our source text is called 7 Mahāsakuludāyisuttaṃ. It's a discourse from the Majjhima Nikāya. And it basically tells a story, a specific event from the life of the Buddha, who's often called Bhagavan or Samancha back in the ancient city of Rājagaha.
It's an incredible glimpse, really, a window into leadership dynamics, influence from centuries ago. But honestly, it feels so relevant today.
Totally.
For anyone trying to figure out what really builds that unwavering respect,
Yeah.
what makes people truly follow and commit.
So our mission, let's say, for this deep dive is to really uncover the key differences. What separates leaders who just sort of attract a crowd
Right.
from those who genuinely change lives, who cultivate that lasting devotion? We want to pull out insights that you can apply really to any kind of leadership or influence work, community, even family.
Sounds good. Let's unpack it.
Let's do it. Where do we start? The setting.
Yeah, let's set the scene. So picture this ancient city, Rājagaha. It's bustling. And the Bhagavan, who's known for this deep calm, he decides to go for alms early one morning. But then he realizes, it's probably a bit too early to start the round.
Okay.
So he changes his path. He heads towards Maranavapa. This is a hermitage, a place where these wandering ascetics used to stay.
And what he finds there is, well, quite different from his own vibe.
Oh, definitely. A total contrast.
Yeah.
He arrives and finds this prominent ascetic. His name's Sakuludayi, and he's surrounded by this huge group, and they're noisy.
Really noisy. The text even calls what they were talking about animal talk.
Yes, animal talk, which basically means mundane, worldly chatter, not deep stuff.
What kind of things?
Oh, the text lists it out. Kings, thieves, ministers, armies, wars, food, drink, clothes, beds, garlands, perfumes, relatives, cars, vehicles back then.
Yeah.
Villages, towns, cities, countries.
Wow. Okay, so gossip, news, everyday stuff.
Exactly. Women, heroes, street talk about watering holes, ancient spirits, just random stuff, worldly tales, ocean tales, even debating existence and non-existence, just endless chatter.
It sounds kind of like scrolling through social media sometimes, doesn't it?
That's actually a pretty modern analogy. Lots of noise, maybe not much substance.
Yeah, sounds familiar. But here's where it gets really interesting, I think.
Why?
As the Bhagavan starts getting closer, Sakuludayi spots him. And he instantly picks up on the Bhagavan's preference for quiet.
Right.
So he immediately hushes his whole noisy group, tells them, "Be still, because," and this is a direct quote, "this ascetic Gautama is coming, and that venerable one likes quiet, he praises quiet."
That's remarkable, isn't it? That immediate, almost instinctive deference.
Yeah.
He just knows.
Yeah. And then Sakuludayi greets the Bhagavan really warmly, says he's pleased he finally visited, offers him a seat that was already prepared. The Bhagavan sits, and then Sakuludayi respectfully takes a lower seat. It just paints this picture of, clear, unprompted respect, even from someone who's a big deal himself, maybe even a rival.
Absolutely. Sets the stage perfectly. So once things quiet down...
Right. Once they're settled, the Bhagavan asks Sakuludayi, "So what were you guys actually talking about before I got here?" And Sakuludayi's answer, this is what really kicks off the whole discussion about what makes a true leader.
Indeed it does. Sakuludayi lays it out. He says their whole big, noisy discussion was basically centered on one critical question.
Which was?
Who among these venerable ascetics and Brahmins, the big names, the famous teachers, the ones approved by most people who'd come to Rājagaha for the rainy season retreat, who among them is truly honored, respected, esteemed, and venerated by their own disciples? And how do those disciples live relying on them?
So they were literally debating Who's the real deal? Who
Yeah.
commands that genuine loyalty and respect, not just crowds?
Exactly. And Sakuludāyi lists the contenders. He mentions Puran Kasapa, Makali Gosala, Ajita Kesakambala, Pakuta Kaklana, Sanyaya Bileha Putta, Nigatanaya Putta, all well-known teachers of the time. Yeah, of course, Saman Gautama, the Bhagavan himself.
Right, so the Bhagavan walks in on them, basically ranking the spiritual leaders of the day, including himself.
Pretty much. And this is where we start seeing these fundamental differences emerge. Sakuludāyi starts describing this pattern of discontent he's observed among the followers of some of the other big teachers.
Okay, like who? Let's take Purana Kassapa first. What was the situation there?
Well, Sakuludāyi says flat out, Kassapa's disciples did not really honor or respect him.
How so?
Get this. When Kassapa tried to teach, his own disciples would interrupt him. They'd actually shout things like, "Don't ask Purana Kassapa about this. He doesn't know it. We know it. Ask us. We'll explain it to you."
Wow, that's pretty bad, in front of everyone.
Yeah. Can you imagine the chaos? The text says Kassapa would, quote, wail with outstretched arms, basically begging them to be quiet. But it didn't work.
So, zero authority.
Zero authority. And apparently, many disciples would just end up leaving after arguing with him, accusing him of messing up the doctrine, misrepresenting things.
Okay, that makes sense, if there's that much disrespect.
But here's the really curious twist.
Oh.
Even the ones who left, who abandoned his teaching, later on, they'd blame themselves for not being able to practice properly.
Not Kassapa.
No. They wouldn't blame Kassapa or his teachings. They'd still kind of praise him, but say, "Oh, it was my own misfortune, my lack of merit. I just couldn't stick with the holy life."
Huh. That's weirdly loyal, in a way. Like, they felt bad leaving, even though they clearly weren't getting what they needed.
It's very strange, isn't it? And it's a strikingly similar pattern with another big teacher, Nigatanaya Putta.
The Jain leader, Mahavira. Okay, what about him?
Same story, basically.
Yeah.
Sakuludāyi says his disciples would also interrupt, contradict him, abandon the teachings, making similar accusations.
And Putta.
He also, quote, wailed with outstretched arms, totally helpless.
Wow.
And again, just like with Kassapa's ex-followers, those who left Nādaputta's group would still praise the teacher, the Dhamma, his teachings, and the Sangha, the community. But they'd blame themselves, their own lack of fortune or merit, for not being able to continue.
So, same pattern. Disciples leave because it's chaotic and maybe not working for them, but they still feel compelled to defend the teacher and blame themselves.
Exactly.
What does that tell us, do you think? What was missing there? If the teaching itself was still seen as good, but the practice fell apart.
Well, it strongly suggests, doesn't it, that while these teachers might have had some intellectual draw, or maybe historical importance, their methods, their leadership style, wasn't actually transformative for the followers. The teachings weren't landing in a way that empowered people to actually practice, to overcome their own stuff, to really embody the path.
Right. It wasn't translating into real change for them, even if they intellectually agreed with the ideas. So, okay, that sets up the contrast. How different was it with Samana Gautama, the Bhagavan?
Oh, profoundly different. Sakuludāyi makes that very clear. He says, unlike the others, the Bhagavan's disciples are truly honored, respected, esteemed, venerated.
And how did that show?
Well, first, just the atmosphere when he taught. There was this immediate sense of deep order, total attentiveness, no coughing, no spitting, which I guess was the thing back then. People would listen with anticipation. The text uses that beautiful phrase, like people gathered to receive pure honey.
I love that. Pure honey. It sounds like they were just soaking it up.
Exactly. And it wasn't just forced silence. You know, there's this great little detail.
Yeah.
If a disciple did happen to cough, another one would gently nudge them, like elbow them quietly and remind them, shh. The teacher, the Bhagavan, is teaching the Dhamma.
Ah, so it's like a collective thing. They police themselves out of respect for the teaching, for the teacher. It's an internal discipline.
Precisely. A shared value for the learning environment. And that pattern of self-blame, if someone left, it was there too, but with a crucial difference.
Okay, how so?
If a disciple later decided they couldn't continue the full training, they renounced it. They would still praise the Bhagavan, the Dhamma, the Sangha. They still blame themselves, you know, my lack of merit, my misfortune.
Right. Same as the others so far.
But, and this is the key part, they would still continue to abide by the 5 precepts.
The basic moral guidelines, like don't kill, don't steal.
Exactly. The foundational ethics for lay followers. So even if they couldn't manage the full monastic discipline, they maintained a connection to the path, They kept the moral core they had learned.
Okay, that's a huge difference. The respect wasn't just talk. It translated into lasting, practical ethical behavior, even for those who formally left the intensive training.
Exactly. The impact was deeper, more ingrained. It stuck with them.
Wow. So the leadership clearly had a much more profound, lasting effect.
No question. And this leads the Bhagavan to ask Sakuludayi, okay, so what qualities do you think inspire this kind of deep respect in my disciples?
Right. What's Sakuludayi's guess?
His first thought goes straight to asceticism. He identifies 5 specific practices, which are basically eating very little and praising that, being content with any old robe and praising that, being content with whatever alms food you get, being content with basic lodging, and liking solitude, praising solitude.
So he figures it's the extreme self-discipline, the austerity. That must be the source of the influence, which, kind of makes sense for that time, with all the ascetic movements around.
It's a totally logical assumption. We often equate outward austerity with inner power or virtue, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Like that person must be really spiritual because they live so simply or deny themselves so much.
Right. But the Bhagavan gently corrects him. He explains why those external practices, while maybe admirable in some ways, are not the real root of the respect his disciples have for him.
Okay, this feels like a really key point. How does he dismantle that idea?
Well, he uses logic and examples. First, he points out that some of his own disciples are actually more intensely ascetic than he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He mentions disciples who eat way less than him, like just a tiny amount, or ones who wear only rags they find in charnel grounds, or who live under trees for like 8 months straight. Extreme stuff.
Okay. So if asceticism itself was the main reason for respect, those disciples should be respected even more, maybe.
Exactly. Or at least it complicates the picture. Then he points to his own behavior. He says, look, sometimes I eat quite a lot, maybe even elaborate meals if invited. Sometimes I wear fine robes, not rags. Sometimes I stay in comfortable, roofed buildings, not just under trees. And sometimes I live right in the middle of crowds. Monks, nuns, lay followers, kings, other teachers.
Yeah.
My lifestyle varies.
Right. So his point is the respect can't just be about these strict ascetic rules because, number one, some of my followers are stricter than me. And number two, I don't always follow those strict rules myself.
Precisely. It decouples the deep respect from just the outward show of discipline or self-denial.
Yeah.
It's not about the performance of austerity.
Okay, this is huge. So if it's not the external stuff, what are the true pillars? What does the Bhagavan say are the real reasons his disciples hold him in such high regard?
This is where he lays out the 5 true qualities, the real deal. And the first one is higher morality, adhisīle.
Higher morality. Okay.
He says, my disciples regard me as one possessed of the supreme aggregate of virtue. It's about this foundational ethical purity, rock-solid integrity. Your actions always match your values. No hypocrisy.
That makes total sense. You can't truly respect a leader you don't trust, someone whose ethics are shaky. Okay, what's number 2?
Number 2 is higher knowledge and vision. ñāṇadassane.
Knowledge and vision.
He says disciples see him as one who declares what he knows and sees, who teaches the Dhamma based on direct knowledge, with reason, and with wonder-working power.
Okay, break that down. Direct knowledge.
It means he's not just repeating stuff he heard or read. He's teaching from his own lived experience, his own deep insight. It's authentic. He knows it firsthand. And he can explain it logically, reasonably.
So it's that walking the talk idea again, but even deeper. It's knowing it so well from experience that you can articulate it perfectly. That builds a different level of trust, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's not theoretical for him. The third quality builds on this. Higher wisdom, adhipaññāya.
Higher wisdom.
His disciples see him as one possessed of the supreme aggregate of wisdom. Someone who can basically defeat any opposing argument, now or in the future, using the Dhamma, the truth. His understanding is unshakable.
So he's not just knowledgeable, he's wise. He's thought through everything so deeply that challenges don't rattle him. People can rely on his judgment because it's so sound.
Exactly. They look to him for clarification, not the other way around. His wisdom is the benchmark.
Okay. Morality, knowledge, vision, wisdom. What's 4?
The fourth is that he teaches the 4 noble truths.
Ah, the core teaching.
Right. He doesn't just have wisdom, he applies it. He clearly explains the truth of suffering, its real cause, the fact that it can end, and the actual path to end it. This satisfies the minds of his disciples because it directly addresses their deepest concerns and offers a practical solution.
So it's not just abstract philosophy, it's a diagnosis and a clear prescription for the fundamental human problem. That's incredibly valuable.
Hugely valuable. And then the fifth quality. This is the one that really brings it all home. It's the most extensive.
Okay, what is it?
It's that he teaches the path leading to spiritual attainments. This is all about the results. It shows that his teachings aren't just nice ideas. They actually work. Following his path leads his disciples to achieve profound inner transformations, real insights, even extraordinary abilities.
So this is the proof in the pudding, basically. It's not just listen to me because I'm wise. It's listen to me because if you do this, you will achieve these incredible results.
Precisely. This is where the aha moments happen for the followers, seeing the tangible outcomes in themselves and others. It demonstrates that the path is real and effective.
So what kind of results, what kind of transformations are we talking about? The text gets specific, right?
Oh, very specific. It goes into great detail. We can maybe group them into a few key areas to get the gist.
Okay, sounds good.
First, there's this deep cultivation of inner discipline and mastery over the mind. Disciples learn to observe their own body, feelings, mind, thoughts really clearly without getting caught up.
Mindfulness, basically.
Exactly, the 4 foundations of mindfulness. And the 4 right exertions, learning to actively prevent the bad stuff, cultivate the good stuff in your mind. This leads to states of deep concentration and peace. The jhānas, the meditative absorptions we mentioned.
Right, the ones with the vivid analogies. Can you remind us of one?
Sure. Like the 4th jhāna, that state of pure, clear mind, it's compared to being completely enveloped head to toe in a perfectly clean white cloth. Nothing untouched by that purity, just total mental clarity and peace.
Wow. That's a powerful image of inner transformation. So deep peace, mental mastery. What else?
Well, the second category involves developing what you might call extraordinary insights and capabilities, things that go beyond the everyday.
Oh, wait, like what?
Things like gaining deep insight into the connection between the physical body and consciousness, seeing it clearly, like examining a gem threaded on a string. Or even the ability, the text says, to create a mind-made body, fully functional.
Whoa, okay.
And then there are the psychic powers, the adhyīle.
Psychic powers, seriously.
That's what the text describes. Things like multiplying oneself, becoming invisible, passing through solid objects like walls or mountains, walking on water, flying.
Okay, that sounds pretty extraordinary. Hard to wrap your head around today.
It is. But the point, I think, isn't necessarily whether we believe these literally today, but that for the disciples then, these represented tangible, almost miraculous results of the practice. Proof that the path led to a fundamental shift in capabilities, far beyond just feeling a bit calmer.
Right. It showed the teaching had profound power. What else in this category?
There's the divine hearing sounds far beyond normal human range. And mind-penetrating knowledge, being able to understand the mental states of others. Are they full of lust, free from it, confused, clear, liberated, like looking in a clear mirror and seeing their inner state?
Wow, understanding others on that level, that has huge implications for relating to people, for guiding them effectively.
Immense implications. Imagine knowing exactly where someone is truly at, mentally and emotionally.
Yeah. Okay, so inner mastery, extraordinary abilities. What's the ultimate attainment?
The ultimate is the 3rd category, knowledge of the destruction of taints, abhikkante. This is the final liberation, realizing freedom of mind, freedom through wisdom, completely free from all the underlying mental taints or defilements, here and now.
So complete liberation, enlightenment.
Yes. The text compares this state to looking into a perfectly clear, still pond high in the mountains. You can see everything inside: shells, pebbles, fish swimming with total clarity. It's that kind of unobstructed, pure awareness and freedom.
Okay, that's incredibly profound. So bringing this all back, what does this ancient deep dive mean for us now? What are the big takeaways about leadership and respect that we can actually use?
Well, I think it clearly shows that genuine, lasting respect, it's not about the surface stuff, not just charisma, not just outward discipline, not just looking the part.
Right. Those might get you noticed, but they don't create that deep, unwavering following.
Exactly. Lasting influence seems to stem from these deeper qualities we've discussed.
Like, number one, that impeccable moral authority, that solid ethical core, adhisīle. You absolutely need trust.
Absolutely. Then direct, verifiable knowledge, ñāṇadassane, leading from real experience, not just theory, knowing your stuff because you've lived it.
Which leads to that unshakable wisdom, adhipaññāya. Being able to navigate complexity, answer tough questions, provide real guidance because your understanding is so deep.
Right. And then, crucially, providing a practical solution. Teaching the Four Noble Truths in this context, offering a clear path that addresses real problems, something people can actually do.
It's not just diagnosing the issue, it's offering the cure, the roadmap.
Exactly. And maybe the most powerful driver of respect, the ultimate proof, is the demonstrable transformation in the followers themselves, seeing that the path works, that it leads to real, tangible, positive changes, whether it's inner peace, better relationships, greater clarity, or even in this context, profound spiritual attainments.
So it's not just about how great the leader is, but about how great the leader helps others become, their ability to empower.
Precisely. It's the results in the lives of the followers that truly validate the leader and command that deep, enduring respect.
It makes me think about the difference between, say, a speaker who just tells you motivational things versus a coach or a mentor who gives you tools that you use and you actually see yourself change and achieve things.
That's a great way to put it. It's about being a true guide whose methods demonstrably work because you see the evidence in yourself and others following the same path.
That kind of leader, you'd follow them anywhere, wouldn't you? Because you know it leads somewhere real.
That's the essence of it, I think. That's what inspires profound respect and loyalty. It's the proven impact.
So thinking about all this, here's a final thought for you listening right now. If your own influence, maybe your leadership at work, your teaching, even how you guide your kids, if it were put to this ancient test, what specific transformative results could the people you influence point to in their own lives? What changes, what inner clarity, what outer skills or mastery would they say happened directly because of your guidance, because they followed your path? Not just because they like you or because you seem disciplined, but because of the tangible difference you helped them make.